Thanks for taking a look at our video. This is a law school success video, and it's the MAD Law lecture. MAD stands for Memorize, Apply, and Dissertate, and we'll go right into some of the software that we have that's available for you to learn how to properly learn the law in law school. You get the entire lecture at www.bsmsphd.com. We can only post part one because it had to be under 10 minutes. We're giving this little lecture to make sure that you understand the types of materials and things we have so that you can actually learn the law. The first thing you have to do is you have to internalize the law itself. What does that mean? Well, that means that it becomes part of your everyday vocabulary, it becomes part of your everyday thought processes. Now, the Socratic method will not help you internalize the law. It's impossible to become proficient at the law through the Socratic method. And the way you internalize things is the way you've learned things all your life. All your life, you've memorized material, you've learned how to apply it, and then you learned how to intelligently regurgitate that material back to people that needed to verify whether you knew something or whether you could independently think about the material you just memorized and learn how to apply. We call that methodology the MAD method: memorize, apply, and dissertate. So the first thing we need you to do um, is is go to the website. We have this displayed right here at www.bsmsphd.com, just like the 3 degrees: Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, and PhD.com. And go right here and click on this. Click here to download version 72. 22,000 computer case briefs all in one program. Depending on when you're reading or listening to this lecture, we might be on version 73, 74. That particular product will install on any Windows operating system, and it will work in demo mode for 3 days. So most likely the best thing to do is to watch this video first, then download and begin to play with anything and possibly watch the video again if you need to. So go there, click, download and install. Program's about 120 megabyte. And once it's installed, you'll get this particular product. This is what it'll look like. You'll see in this particular case, Rom Law version 72. Case briefs, it has flashcards, it has reference materials and outline, and it has statutory reference, and it has an exam writing section, it has a dictionary. The supercharger here, that's a placeholder. There's nothing there right now, but it's for a future product that we intend to release. Here's how you purchase or register the product. Here's how you get tech support. And here's how you can import new materials into the current version that you have. Now, we've opened up across the top a number of different materials based on the actual examples we're going to use on how to study on an everyday basis. Now, the first thing that usually everybody starts with are case briefs. And we thought, okay, contracts, okay, and we're going to go Crandall's fifth edition of contracts, and here's all the case briefs. And let's say we just happen to be in this area here, like the Fig v. Bohm, or Schnell v. Nell, or Betsakis v. Demotsitz. And these are cases. The first thing we do, the way we study with memorize, apply, and dissertate, is we look quickly into the case that we have to brief for that night, and we find out that possibly, based on what I've just highlighted here, that this case is about consideration. And we go to the next case. Oh, here, look, will a court inquire into the adequacy of consideration? There's another case about consideration. And let's say we have to go, is forbearance from asserting a good faith legal claim to constitute valid consideration? So guess what we're studying on the next 3 cases? We happen to be studying consideration. So we can see this right away without doing anything. Now, most people make the mistake immediately of jumping into these cases and doing the case briefs. The focus on memorize, apply, and dissertate is not briefing cases. Cases are a small part of the memorize, apply, and dissertate. They are part of the application of the law. You still have to memorize, you still have to apply, but you have to apply all the law, and you have to be able to dissertate all the law. So the problem you have here, and we'll see this very quickly when we get to the dictionary, is let's say our case book has these three cases, and these are the only three cases they have on consideration. Because obviously there's usually 130 to 140 cases in each case book, and they can't cover all the law. That's the first little dirty secret that you're learning. Not all case books cover all the law in all areas. What they cover is what we call the idiomatic law. That is the law that is a concept. Idiomatic law, you can't define idiomatic law with one sentence. You can't define idiomatic law with a trite little definition, okay? These are concepts, and either you understand the concept and know how to think about it, or you don't. Now, if let's say in something like consideration, there's lots of law to cover. And so let's look at the first thing we do, the way we study. We go to the dictionary, and now we're at Dean's Law Dictionary, and we're going to type into the lookup table up at the top there. We'll type the word consideration in there. Okay? And when we get to consideration, we'll scroll up here to get everything into this screen. Look at all the definition, the base definition right there. Look at all the sub-definitions. Look at all this stuff. There's adequacy versus sufficiency and adequacy. There's a definition for aleatory contracts. There's definitions for forbearance of a right, illusory promises, legal detriment, moral obligations, past consideration. So let's just count these up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 20, 27 definitions and sub-definitions for consideration. But our case book, and this we'll just say covers only 3. So this is what you're supposed to know about consideration. If you truly understand consideration, you'll know everything here. So what we tell students to do, and we've proven this by actual results with their grades, okay, is when you find out, you go to your case book and then you figure out that the case is about consideration. And the first thing you do is then you go into Dean's Law Dictionary and you look through all the definitions and sub-definitions for consideration. And you look through everything and you kind of browse through it, read through all of them, get a good fundamental understanding. And if you notice, the first part of any definition in the fundamental definitions is it gives you what we call an exam writing definition. Consideration as the bargain for exchange that induces current performance, offers detriment, and is binding. Now, it just so happens that almost everything related to consideration is a concept, okay? Other than possibly the binding part of it, okay? Most people today, they understand whether something's binding or not. But the other parts, whether something's a bargain for exchange, possibly induces current performance, is fairly easy to learn. It's not that too difficult on the idiomatic side, nor is offering detriment. So some parts of consideration are very easy to understand, other parts are very hard, okay, particularly the bargain for exchange part. So consequently, there's idiomatic law and easy to learn law, roll over, play dead law. We call that law six-pack law. Joe Six-Pack knows. If you ask the question to Joe Six-Pack, Joe Six-Pack can answer that law, okay? But Joe Six-Pack can't tell you what a bargain for exchange is because that's an idiomatic expression. So the first thing you do as part of the memorize, apply, and dissertate is you go to your case book, you look at the cases, oh, it's about consideration, great. You go in the Dean's Law Dictionary, now you learn everything there is to know about consideration. Thanks for listening to part 1 of the MAD Law Lecture Part 1. You can go to www.bsmsphd.com to get the entire lecture, the MAD Law Lecture. Just go there. The link is right on the front page. The entire lecture is about 35, 40 minutes. Thanks for listening.